Hi, everyone. I'm Amber Young.
And I'm Barbara Phillips.
And this is
Let's Talk EVM.
EVM. All right, we're here with Brie Smith. But before that, let's do a little disclaimer. I just want to let everyone know that all of the views that are shared here are the views of our own for myself, Barbara, and Brie, and not the views of the United States government. All right. So with that, I want to kick off and welcome everyone to our very first Cam Corner. We are going to start introducing a segment where we talk to cams who are that center point. I think Barbara calls it the linchpins. He had some nice terms for the cams. So we have with us our esteemed guest of Brie Smith, who was a cam. So have her introduce herself, and then we'll get into some questions all about the cam. So Brie, please let us say hello and tell us about yourself.
Hello. As Amber said, my name's Brie Smith or Brianna Smith, but most people know me as Brie, spelled like the cheese. As they said, I was a former cam. I have since moved into the consulting world, but I have about 11 years or so of project management, program planning, control, support experience. Served as a cam in defense contracting worlds for my first 2 jobs, and then moved into consulting and conducting EVM surveillance with NASA. And I'm currently located in Melbourne, Florida, and I am excited to be on the podcast.
Yay!
We're so excited you're here. Thank you, Brie.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. Okay, so hearing from the cams, we had our first question of what brought you to being a cam? You said you were a cam for some period, but what took you into becoming cam?
Yes, so I went to school at Towson University, and I actually went into school as a computer science major. But after a few semesters, I decided it wasn't necessarily for me, but I did want to utilize some of the knowledge I got from those classes. And I switched into a business administration major. Towson actually had an electronic business degree as well. So I did a double major, but the electronic business portion kind of just helped me leverage some of the computer science background I got.
Nice.
But also I felt that the electronic business major gave me some hands-on experience with some of the softwares that I utilize in my jobs that I've been through. So it was helpful. And then I also did a concentration in project management and business analysis. So I actually was learning earned value management, all about that, as well as kind of diving into some of the softwares, got some scheduling knowledge in college. So that kind of set me up for getting into a cam role. But I had an internship with a DoD contracting company my senior year, and that was on a large sustainment DoD program. And then at the conclusion of that internship, I transitioned onto a full-time role there. But
Nice.
But they didn't waste any time. And in my internship, I had an incredible boss mentor, and she made sure to get me involved right away. And so it was a very smooth transition from interning to starting on the team full time. So I got to work kind of side by side with some of the cams on the project as an intern. And then when I joined full time, I immediately took over some of the cam roles. And I also got introduced to the Defense Acquisition University training right away. I think I started taking some of those trainings as an intern, but those were really helpful. But I took over the role of managing the budget for, we had, I think, around 95 or so field service representatives that were globally located to help support the government with maintenance and training of, with the product that we were supporting. And then from there, I kind of got involved with some of the international programs as well. But I guess I kind of covered, how did I get into the CAM world?
Yeah, that's really interesting, Brie. So one rollback question there. So Towson set you up with the internship, and a practicum is common with an engineering degree, but business schools do that too, right? So
yeah, they didn't necessarily set me up with the internship. I sought it out, but we were required to have a certain amount of internship time, and I did a couple, but that was the final.
And so the one was located near where you lived at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then you got
around the Baltimore area.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a great story. That'll segue with other guests that we have, where we have questions about that. So tell us a little bit more about DAU. Was that something that the defense contractor exposed you to? That's what you just said, but is that something that wasn't just said, oh, well, you just finished school, so you should do the DAU? Was that universal at that defense contractor? Lots of people were taking the DAU, or that was something how did all that work?
I think that it was, I'm not sure if the company had that as a standard training route for new employees, or if it was more so just my manager.
Okay.
But I would say there was a couple other interns on our program at the time that were taking it with me. But I think my boss knew going into it that I was in a project management track, and she knew that I had interest in joining full time at the end if there was an offer available. So she was trying to get me a head start so I would be able to jump right in once I
mean, I have taken some of those DAU things. I mean, but we're interviewing you, not me. What was your opinion about the quality of the, how beneficial was it? Or that's a leading question, but what did you think of the DAU courses? That's what I'm getting at.
It was a while ago, but I think it wasn't anything above and beyond what I maybe had learned in school, just because I was in that specialized track.
Mm-hmm.
But it was beneficial, I think, because it came from the Defense Acquisition University. So it really helped to explain it in terms of government contracting and how I would be utilizing those metrics and terms in a career. In that, I think in the classes I took in college, it was more general project management, not necessarily a government contract. So there's specific formats and such that we would be submitting to the government monthly, and I think it was beneficial for setting me up for success in as a CAM.
And all the acronyms.
So many acronyms.
Yes.
Alphabet soup.
Question on the DAU courses you took. I guess it's kind of a two-part. Was this pre or post-COVID onset, and were they virtual or in person?
This was pre-COVID, and they were virtual. They were kind of just, I took them as I could, as I had time.
No in person or like live.
I do think I would have I just prefer an in-person training setting.
Yeah.
I feel like I absorb more, but it worked.
Yeah, it's good that
Yeah.
it's there in
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
form. And it's nice to have a cohort when you're with others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Barbara
Yeah.
and I were in the very first cohort of the IP2 meter facilitators certification. So that was very lovely with Daniel, our first guest. So it is nice to be in
Well, she
person.
was certainly in the vicinity of that and just didn't sign up for it.
Oh, Brie.
I had other duties that I had to perform.
There should be more, hopefully. So
I do plan on attending the training in the future.
Nice.
I think I'm obliged to say IP2 meter at least once in every podcast. So thank you for allowing me. Okay. Next question that we had kind of workshopped a little beforehand, thinking about your work as a CAM, you shared with us, Brie, that you were actually CAM, then PM, then CAM. Can you
Yeah.
talk a little to that? And then what were the differences between CAM and PM roles?
So in my first CAM role on that program, like I said, I had an amazing first boss. She was a great mentor. She always was looking for opportunities for me to get a little experience on a different program or putting me in situations that just pushed me out of my comfort zone. And one of the opportunities that I got was to help with a proposal effort for an international program where we had to propose work for, like I said, a field service representative to be working internationally. So that gave me the experience to manage a whole proposal effort in a smaller scale. And from there, I expressed more interest in learning about the international programs. Obviously, it was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But an opportunity came up after proposing that effort. And so I was able to apply and transition into a project management role for 2 smaller international programs that we had going on. They did not have EVM requirements. They were, like I said, they were smaller, but I was able to utilize all the earned value management and CAM knowledge I had, and I implemented it as much as I could on these existing programs.
Because you're a believer.
Yeah, because they're good principles, right?
Yeah, not because you were forced to. Oh, we love that, Brie. Oh my goodness, yeah. We couldn't pay you enough to say that.
Well,
I mean, we are paying you. So.
Yeah, I will be expecting my paycheck.
One thing, opinions are your own.
As a CAM, I think with years of experience now, I've seen different types of CAMs out there. Mm-hmm. There's CAMs that are more technical and they understand, they're helping get the work done. I came into being a CAM as somebody who just had more of the business mindset, and but I'm very data focused. I like to dig into the data, figure out what's going on. And I think one thing I learned on the first role as a CAM was it's important to, as much as you can, show your face, learn the people who are going to be charging to your accounts, learn whose budget you're managing, what work is being accomplished. That really helped me to first, so they wouldn't be annoyed with me if I had to rein things in on the budget side. And when I'm asking questions for my monthly variance analysis, it helped me to understand what was going on better as somebody who wasn't as technical, and then helped me feel more informed and intelligent when I had to speak to these changes or variances on a monthly basis to the government customer. So I lost track. What was the question?
No. The differences between CAM role and PM role,
Yeah.
kind of those.
Okay, yeah.
But as you were talking, it kind of also made me think of. I love the idea of getting to know the actual product that you're working on, right? So I know I'm very data centric and I can get deep in the weeds of the data and the metrics, but going and seeing the end product as it's being created or talking with the teams makes all of the difference in the world for solidifying everything, right? You got to get the big picture and it's just wonderful. So I think that's what I heard from you. And I also am curious about, you were saying the 95 field service reps, and I think maybe even internationally. How were they folks that you would have to interface with, and how did you build rapport with them? And were they, imagine, all over the world?
Yeah, they were global. So that came with a lot of learning about things aside from EVM and project management. It was learning about helping to obtain visas, work visas for people, and export compliance, legal, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I couldn't get face-to-face time with all of them. We did attempt to do kind of a road show and get to different sites to show our face. And I know after I left, they did make it out to the Australia site, and I was bummed I didn't get to join. But we also had the field service representatives rotate in back to where we were located for training.
That's great.
So whenever they would come through for training, I would try to get in there and show my face and meet them that way. But yeah, going out to the local sites within the US that we could get to was helpful to see what they're doing and get an idea of what's going on, because I had to have ownership of the budget. I needed to have some idea where
it really is. It's all about the people, ultimately. Yeah. Yeah. I was going to ask about the specific things about did you feel equipped? Were you provided how well did program control perform for you? Did you have to do the work of program control in order to get the data to write your, to perform your duties as a CAM, or did you feel like the system was operating and had the data? Like, how did that work?
I felt that I worked hand in hand with the PP&C folks. They were very helpful to me. They always provided what I needed. And then in turn, I tried my best to get everything done that they needed. I probably am more, I don't want to badmouth any CAMs out there, but I was very thorough. So the PPC folks loved me.
That's her middle name, actually.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's what her mother named her.
Yeah. So I had everything I needed. I worked well with them. I think I just understood the monthly rhythm, and I tried to get help from them and tried to help them back however I could.
Did you find that having the experience with the electronic component of your studies, like you were saying, the software, did that help too?
Yeah, I think that definitely helped. Having a little bit of a knowledge of the scheduling side helped me to understand what they needed for their duties. And I think we didn't necessarily, the systems that I learned in college, as far as scheduling, we were using a different system, but I think the overall concepts and working to build some schedules on my own in college definitely helped to coordinate with them. I think it just helped me to understand the monthly flow, and also I could bring in the experience with getting out there and learning what's going on in the program and having an intelligent explanation for what was going on with the performance in my control accounts at the time.
Well, I think it's okay for us to segue a little to I think one of our last remaining questions, which is that how did your experience as a CAM help you? How is it helping you do surveillance, EVM surveillance that is your current job?
And a little bit to that too. Any thoughts on changing from CAM to government? So in that
Yeah.
line.
So I think I kind of forgot to finish up the storyline of my career, but when I moved on to the international programs, loved it. I think it was the best introduction to being a project manager in a smaller scale. And like I said, I was able to implement my earned value management knowledge on a smaller scale on those programs, help to improve the performance on those programs, and then moved on from there back to being a CAM on a production program. And from there, I just I needed a change of scenery. So I moved on to a different government contracting role at a larger company on a development program. And from there, as a CAM, it was a different experience. I think I was able to utilize all of the skills I learned from the first few roles. And I started to, I guess, notice that maybe not everybody was as big of an earned value management proponent as I was.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
our heart is breaking, but we understand.
Yeah.
We're here to
Me too. And I for some strange reason, I just decided that I wanted to get more involved in strictly the earned value management core group, or doing more in the PP&C track. And I got the opportunity to join the team I'm with now at NASA, and I think my roles as a CAM really have benefited me in this role. Flipping sides and performing surveillance, you have some sympathy for the CAMs.
Yeah.
You also just have an understanding of the way things can go on a project, and you understand the stressors that come with the customers asking certain things, or your internal executives wanting certain things, and it can sometimes disrupt your monthly business flow or your monthly processes that you should be following. So I think it's given me sympathy, but also it helps, I think, to just understand that those processes can be conducted well, and as it's possible to get things done.
Right. So when they're belly aching,
I've been
in your shoes.
Yeah, I've been through the surveillance.
I was gonna ask that question too. What advice would you give to people that are, considering taking on a CAM role?
My
what
advice would be, I think what I've already said, get get to know whatever scope of work you are going to be managing, and take ownership of it, and care about it, because you're going to be the one responsible for explaining the variances, explaining when things go wrong or right. And also, don't be scared to raise your hand or flag when things are off track and there's problems, because the longer that you avoid it, the bigger the problems get. Or I think it looks much better, and it's much easier to correct things when you address them head on. You have more time to work through the corrective actions. Ultimately, it's just, I think there's fear of raising a red flag when things are not going according to plan. And one major thing I know as a CAM, in my experience, I would say almost every time, I just inherited work from someone before me. I didn't propose the work. I didn't develop the BOE. I think I learned early on the importance of a well-developed basis of estimate. It will help your predecessor exponentially.
Successor, I think you mean.
Yeah, successor.
I get that one mixed up too.
Sorry.
The successor of my prior. Yeah.
But yeah, inheriting
And-
work, if you don't have a solid BOE to utilize, or you don't have that person to go pick their brain, it's really hard to understand. And I'm sure most CAMs have just wanted to write in their variances, like, I didn't propose this. I didn't plan this.
How would I know? Yeah.
I don't take
I was
ownership
gonna
for this,
say,
right?
But this
Can we
sounds
get
fun now.
an amen here? I mean, wow, Brie, you have hit the nail on the head here. That is project management. You document as if your best friend is going to be taken over. You win the lottery, you're out, and your bestie is coming after, and you want them to succeed. So, yeah.
But
That's the purpose of documentation. It isn't for posterity, it isn't for fun. It's, it's communication, and it is for the successor. So,
But
so
at the
Amber,
same time, you also, if you are dealt that hand as a CAM and you don't have the resources, you don't have the people available to pick their brain, or just, you still need to take ownership of your work, understand where you're at. And once you feel that you have an idea of how the work is going to continue, take action to change your plan and make it work for you, because
take ownership, right?
Yeah. You're basically a project manager, but at a very smaller scale in your program.
Yep. You're responsible for the triple constraint.
Yes,
Yeah. So I think, circling back to one of the question you had about the differences between CAM and project management work, I think I took it on the same way. I mean, the project manager has more responsibilities, but if you take it on as if you're a CAM of a whole project, to me it felt very similar. More responsibility, but still very similar concepts. You're owning your scope of work.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, I think that whichever teams had you as a CAM and PM were very fortunate. So everything that I hear,
They're the same.
and we're very fortunate to have you on as a guest.
Very fortunate.
Thank
Wow,
you.
that was great. That was really, really very thorough.
Good.
Dun,
Thorough. My middle name's Noelle, actually, not.
Oh, okay. All right. That's clear.
Beautiful.
I
Beautiful.
was going to say, people will be looking you up on LinkedIn. Okay. They said her name was.
Okay, so as a closing question, we're not doing our traditional segments, but I did have a question because it's one of my personal favorites. What are your thoughts? I don't have the best way to ask this. I would wish it were more fun, but how do you feel about Gantz?
About what?
You threw in a
A
cliffhanger.
Gantt chart?
Gantz.
Gantt? What did
Yeah,
you
how do
say?
feel? Gantt, the Gantt chart. Gantt,
Gantt.
Gantt. Yes. How do you feel about Gantz?
I don't even know how I feel about a Gantt chart, honestly.
I don't have
Feelings.
strong feelings or something, but
Do you have strong feelings, Amber, on a Gantt chart?
I have
Where'd that
very
question
strong
come from?
feelings. For my team, I really wanted to manage by Gantt, and we did not have one. And I lead a software development team. So my software developers, for Christmas gift 2 years ago, built me a Gantt for our project management. And then this year they enhanced it and built it from the ground up. And I'm so excited. And everyone on my team knows I love Gantts. I was like on a Gantt mission for about a year saying, I really want this. And they made it happen. So I love
Okay.
Gantts.
Okay.
but yes, I'm a big supporter of games as well.
All right. Okay. Thank you
Jeez.
for listening.
Can we get an amen? Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, that's all
All
for
right.
us. I think we'll
Well,
close on
that was a
note.
laugh riot. So
Thank you very much, Brie. We really appreciate you
Thank you,
being
Brie.
here.
Of
Yeah.
course. Love talking with both of you.
We'll keep
Thanks.
talking. And please join us on our LinkedIn group. We would love more engagement. People are starting to get comfortable and talking in there. So maybe people will have questions for you.
We have 98 members right now.
Which is pretty good. In like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still in January.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thanks everyone for participating and keep talking. Let's keep talking. So I think with that, we'll close out. Thank you very much from
Let's talk EVM.
EVM.